Hello, we are live.
Hi guys.
All right, so welcome to, what are we on, 102?
We are on Blogging 102.
Blogging 102. Everybody who showed up yesterday, we appreciate you. We hope that you found some massive value, and we hope you started implementing what we were kind of talking about. And today, what are we going to learn today, Ben?
Today we are talking about picking a niche and bridging the gap.
Bridging
If you don't know what that means, that's totally cool because we'll be covering that later in the hangout. But basically, the ultimate gist is that if you guys plan on making money from your content, making money from what you're putting out on your blog, then it's really important that you know the niche that you're talking to, right? As well as how you bridge to them. If you decide to blog about something you're passionate about versus maybe your business.
And for anybody out there who doesn't know what a niche is, or niche, if you're French out there, right? Like how we like to say. And I don't really know if that's true or not, but what is a niche? If somebody, like, if you're brand new to wanting to know how to, break free and get that change, like what would be a great way to kind of explain this to everybody who's out there?
A niche is mainly like the easiest and most simplest way I found to describe it is a theme or specific topic of people that you're talking to and about.
Pretty right on. Yeah. I don't know what the actual Webster's dictionary is, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty close. So anybody out there who's wondering what is like a niche, that's exactly it. And so for us, getting started in our business, that was probably one of the most difficult things for us to do. And now we're still getting clear on this. And we've ran into people who have said to others, hey, you know what, you're not clear. And they get just so frustrated. And we're sitting back, hearing this, thinking to ourselves, oh,
we're good.
We're clear though. So these guys have got some work to do, right? And then, we're not seeing the results that we want to see. And we're still continuing to believe we're good. We're clear, right? And the results are still not coming in the way we wanted to. And then we started to realize, man, the people that we're talking to aren't really the people that want to hear what we have to say.
Yeah, and they weren't even really the people that we wanted to really be dealing with in the first place.
No, so we were kind of mixed up in what was necessary to pick a niche. And so today, we want to really explain to you the essence of the importance of what a niche is, how to actually pick a niche.
The importance of knowing, do you want to pick a niche topic or do you want to pitch a niche demographic, the differences in the two?
That's right. And I didn't even know that there was, I knew that there was a difference. Like, we're just going over the notes of everything today. And, I knew that there was a difference between the two, but I didn't know that there was the actual word between the demographic and the actual topic. I just kind of figured it was getting more specific in your targeting. But what we're going to teach you today is going to, hopefully blow your mind a little bit to where from now on, when you move forward in whatever you're doing, whether it's blogging, making videos, whatever it is that you are doing for your main source of marketing, you're going to be able to take this and make some more money with it. You know what I mean? So before we get into it, allow us to share a little bit about ourselves for those of you who are brand new to the Hangout, okay? Because this stuff that we've been through in the last 18 months can help you get from point A to point B a lot sooner, okay? Because we've made some massive mistakes. And you'll hear a little about this stuff that we've done in the beginning of our journey. And so we started our entrepreneurial journey together about 18 months ago, right?
Yeah.
And we had zero internet experience. We didn't know what we were doing online. We had no clue how to.
The most experience I had was like Facebook and email and searching like reports for political news.
I had no clue about running ads, about, CPM, CPCs, click-throughs. Bounce rates, had no clue about SEO, no idea about
what the heck are all these anagrams? Like, what is this?
And yeah, exactly. Had anybody just say a sentence? Like, what's going on?
Why is everything in Morse code?
and so going through the beginning stages of this, it was truly difficult because we didn't know who to relate with. We didn't even know who we were. We go through life, and us personally, and I think that you guys can relate to this watching this, is we go through life and we don't ask ourselves the tough questions. We don't ask ourselves the questions that are going to get us to think about who we are, why we've chose the life that we're living, and what are we going to do to make the dreams in our head actually come to life? And do we even believe that they can? We didn't have any of the answers to any of them. And so we're going into this, we get presented this opportunity that took about 8 months for it to resonate with us because we were that lost. We were just like that closed-minded to say, well, our life isn't really what we want it to be. We're kind of struggling. We're hurting, right? Not making the money that we should. We were going backwards in our bills to where we stacked up a $60,000 debt.
That was fun.
And we weren't ready. We were still like, oh, no, this has got to be what we are supposed to be doing because this is what we've been doing. And over a matter of time of doing the same thing, something's bound to change, right? And I'm sure that a lot of out there could relate to that. And so
Oh, yeah. Sure, like maybe like the 99th millionth time I'll get a different result. Something different.
One more time.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, like, one of the reasons why it took so long for this to resonate with us was because, you know, when his friend who was explaining it to him, he just kept saying, like, it's simply put, like, you blog about what you're passionate about. Like, that's it. Like, blog about what you're passionate about. And we're like, that's way too simple. Like, where's the complication? I need the steps. I need like the list of 18 pages of what to do. Like, it's not complicated enough, so it must not work. You know, and so we're like, if it's so simple, then it's too good to be true. And,
well, I think that's what she thought. I love simplicity. I think that's what she thought.
Well, I am a woman. I will straight up admit that I am cliche about
I just was stuck in my tracks. I honestly thought what I said. I honestly thought that it was going to end up changing. I thought that my delusional behavior of doing the same thing over and over again, my psychotic it's gonna just one day be different, you know. And that I think stems from the way that I was, you know, brought up, and the way that, you know, our surroundings had and the environment has taught me to do, which is a lot of the way society tells people to live their life. Hey, you know what, don't really go out there and be a free thinker. Don't go out there and ask the hard questions. People don't like answering questions.
Just fall in line and do what I tell you. I'll give you a check at the end of the week, and
just don't ask questions.
Hopefully it'll cash.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we didn't like that anymore. We got to a point where we said, okay, that is enough. Brandon, you're missing out on a lot that's going on. We had just made the decision about when we first met each other, that I was going to go ahead and play poker for full time. And I was going to go ahead and run with the dream of mine to do that. She backed me 110%, which is wild to think about when you hear about.
Friends thought that I was.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you hear about women that are out there.
Woman who like didn't even exist. They're like, she's too nice to you. Like, what do you mean? She
lets
you do
she
stuff?
lets you play cards for a living, and it's like, not let me. That was a dream that I turned into a business, and you know, it's neither here nor there. But it was just fun to be able to take that and run with it. Now we did really well for the first few years. For the first couple of years, we did really well.
Yeah.
And then we ended up messing around. We got pregnant, and you know, everything kind of changed. Well, when it changed, everything shifted, because then my dream started to affect my family, because I started to take away from them. It wasn't adding to the lifestyle that we created. It was actually taking away from. So we had to make that change and say, okay, well, is it my time to really still continue on with this journey of being a full-time poker player, or is there a way for us to start working together and get our minds to just match and just start working together in a way that can get both of us to contribute financially to the house. Now that was our whole goal. Okay. So when we started to think about that, that was in the same time that he started to present us to this opportunity. And so over the length of 7 months, we finally opened up our minds after talking with each other. Okay, well, this might be a way to do this. Well, on that 1,000th time that he came by, we ended up talking about it in the garage, ended up leaving the piece of paper in front of Sarah, really. She ended up looking at that after he left and just lit up. And what happened?
Oh yeah, no, I remember I was cleaning around the living room, so I saw that there was paper on the table, and I went to go collect it, and I saw, I think what was doodles, I don't know, his friend's tarot jar, but there was like all these scribbles on the paper, but the one thing that stood out was this like box, and inside the box was this number for $8,000 and something dollars. I don't remember like the exact specifics, but it was like a little over 8,000, and it was, you know, blocked off. And so I picked up the paper and I looked at Brandon and I was like, what is this? And what does that mean? Is this like, how do we get this?
Yeah.
Like, what were you guys talking about out there? And he, you know, informed me
and
that
this is a time that we are hurting.
Yeah.
We are struggling.
It was pretty painful.
Yes, I just wanted to make that apparent. So he's showing us, it's like, oh yeah, look at this.
Oh, yeah, look what we made this week.
We were,
and it was only like Thursday?
And I think I had lost that much that month.
Yeah,
so,
that was a really dry month for us. And so when I asked him about it, he told me that his friend had relayed to him that so far from his friend blogging with his partner, that they had thus far that week made a little over $8,000. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, I have no idea what you just said. I don't know what you just said, but I know that would be nice. So since I'm not really understanding what you're saying, how about we call his friend's girlfriend who does like the blogging aspect of it.
That whole process.
And and so I was like, let me ask her some questions, because I'm like the research and stat person, so I need to do some research and stats. And that's what I did. And then we came together and we just kind of had this discussion. We were like, is this really something we can see ourselves doing? Like, should we even really be considering this? Like, is it too risky? Like, what do we,
the only thing we had to our name, the only thing we had to our name that was keeping our head above water was our wedding savings. Now, mind you, that every time I would go and play poker, I never risked more than what I had. Okay, now I was a very responsible poker player. I treated it as a business, and you have a bankroll and a bankroll management, and you have all these skills and things that you learn along the way. So I was doing and applying things to where I wasn't ever risking my family's freedom.
It's not like he was gambling away our revenue or anything.
Imagine having a bankroll that's depleting, right? That's used as, for marketers out there, equivalent to your marketing budget. It's the exact same thing. If your marketing budget comes out, you have to borrow against your name so that you could start marketing again so that you could get this thing going. Well, my poker budget, my bankroll was getting just depleted. So I didn't have the money to invest in the business that we needed to position ourselves in a way that we could start seeing results fast. So when we did this, it was like, okay, well, my friend's sitting here saying we got to basically take a certain amount of money that we didn't think that we had and place it into a business to make the money that we need because we don't have any in the first place, right? And so we go through the same process with so many of the new members who sign up with us because of the fact that they don't believe that they have resources that they can tap into. And we're not saying to sell your car and your underwear and walk around butt naked until you make your first sale. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying though is that you could actually use something right now that's not beneficial for you, something that is in your closet and wherever it is that isn't even being used right now. And that's what we did. We were like, you know what? We've been saving for our wedding for about a year, maybe even a year and a half at that time. Yeah. And it was like, you know what? We're going to get married. We're going to get married. Let's do it. Let's do it. And so we took everything right for our wedding savings and we invested to get all the products that we could, get all the training that we could. And we dove right in. We were up till 2, 3 in the morning every single day doing this. And that was because we were hungry about our change. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what leads us to really going through this whole boot camp with you right now, is because in the beginning stages of us going through that transformation, there was nobody there for us because actually in the first 14 days of us getting started, our sponsor quit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even like, at least quit on that. I don't know what happened, but it's just not there. You see what I'm saying? So we didn't take what we needed to, right? Because we felt abandoned. We felt alone. We felt like we had to go this on our own.
It was very like, it was
very self-pity though.
Yeah, it was a very overwhelming experience for us because it was kind of like, oh my gosh, they left. Like, what do we do? And so we were so confused.
It was so terrible.
And it was just all bad.
But it was because we didn't know that there was other people out there that could show us the way. That was it. You know what I mean? If we would have been open to hearing about other people's ways of doing things, we wouldn't have felt so attached just because of the person. You see what I'm saying? We would have been attached with the things that we are, which is the product, the system, and the way that everything works so that we can get paid and create the freedom that we need to from our online business, right? And so that's what got us so excited. That's what got us to continue to stay with this, even though we didn't see really any results in the first year of us being a part of this.
Yeah, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that while we spent that whole time thinking we were clear and serious, it turned out we were like so far from clear and we weren't really taking the business seriously. And because of that, like in the last 90 days alone, we've been able to see, okay, so that's how we've been operating for the last year. No wonder things haven't been working as consistently as we wanted them to. Well, like this is why. And this is also one of the reasons, I got something in my eye, I'm sorry guys. This is also one of the reasons why we decided, like when we were putting together this workshop, to make this like day 2, is because if you attempt, and we've seen this before, if you attempt to start blogging, right, for your passion or your business, whatever the case is, and you don't know this, right, you don't have the key, you don't have your niche, you don't know if you're talking to a topic or a demographic, like you don't know any of this, like you're kind of just, you're basically like I know this is going to sound a little graphic, but you're basically like a bleeding body in the middle of the ocean full of sharks. Like you're just kind of, you're biding time before something bad happens.
I thought it was going to be way grosser than that. That wasn't graphic.
Well, that's for me, like, cause I saw it in my head. But anyway, okay. So that's basically like what it is. Like you're just simply blogging and biding time, hoping that eventually like one of your posts will bite.
Right.
And so instead of having to, add 2, 3, 4, I mean, we have people who come to us who've been blogging for like 7 or more years. And they're like, I still have not seen any results. Who are you talking to? Like, what's your, I'll go and look at your blog and it's like, I have no idea what I'm reading here. Like, who are you talking to? Is it me? Is it him? Is it the neighbor down the street? Like, is it, like, who is it? I don't know who you're talking to. It's so confusing. And so we want to help you, like, now that you guys have like a general idea of like what a niche is, why picking a niche is so important. Because it's one thing to know like what something is, it's another to know like why it's important. And so the first reason, there's about 4. The first is simply just because niche blogs, they appeal to readers more because niche blogs tend to be more focused. There's much more of an easier to distinguish focal point for them to pick up on. So instead of having to go to your blog and guess at what your blog is about or who you're talking to, they know right off the bat like what they're going to expect to find if they go search any more of your posts.
And the big reason why we're here is to help you make more money, right? So the second thing is that niche blogs actually they're easier to be monetized. Way easier, because you're talking to a specific group about a specific product that's going to solve a specific, or that's going to have, sorry, yeah, it's gonna have, all that is specific.
Yeah,
okay,
basically
you see what I'm
people
saying?
are going to be, they're going to be much more inclined. They're going to be easier and more open to buying from somebody if they know that they're coming to a space that's directly related to information they're looking for. You know, if they're coming to your blog and it's not anything you're looking for, like why would they buy from you?
Yeah,
because you're pretty. You know, what if you're not? Just saying.
You guys are all beautiful.
We love you. And the third reason is that niche blogs do way, and I'm talking like way better in search engines. Now, if you don't really know like much about search engines or SEO, like that's okay. We're not even going to talk about this here. The broad scope of this one is just the fact that Google will look at your blog and they'll read what you post. And if they're looking at your blog and they're seeing that you're posting about everything between, you know, everything from like baking to fashion to like paleo, like all kinds of weird stuff, they're going to have no idea who to really put your stuff in front of. So they're not going to see your blog as an authority site. They're not going to see your site as a serious site. So if you want people to find you, if you want people to go to Google, type in a phrase and find you, you need to pick a niche because it's easier for Google to find you and rank you that way.
And then what happens after they find you is you're going to want to prove to them that you're a credible source of information. And so that is the fourth reason on why picking a niche is important, is because you're going to need that credibility to break through that first initial gap that people have when they like come to people's information or sites. Typically they come there a little bit with their arms up, you know, with their guard up, thinking, I'm not going to really believe everything that I read here. Do you see what I'm saying? But when you prove to them that you've shown up every day and you've given them proper content and proper value to match what they're going there for, then they start to believe you and they go, okay, well, I could actually research back to this lady's like archives and go, okay, back 2 years or 200 blogs deep and go, well, she's still in alignment with who she says she is today. Mm-hmm. That is going to be able to give you that backbone, that authority, that credibility that, you know, bouncing around, talking to multiple people at once on one platform isn't going to be able to give you.
Yeah. And niche blogs, they help your like public profile, basically. They help it grow and expand. So let's say that you choose to blog about your business, right? Well, if you want to be seen as the authority figure on that, in that specific niche, if you want to be viewed as a leader within your industry or as like the go-to person who knows what you're talking about, then a niche blog is going to help you do that. And that can even be achieved with a passion blog. There's plenty of people who blog about their passion who are still viewed as a public authority figure, and they have an expansive profile to where now, you know, because of their blog, they're getting TV shows, they're getting book deals, they're getting to speak at events, like big things are happening. And it's all just because of the fact that these people went into their blogs with a niche in mind of who they were going to talk to and what they were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's basically it as far as why it's important.
And yeah, exactly.
Hopefully that's enough for you.
Well, those are the 4 reasons. So we hope that you took notes on those. If not, just replay this after it gets going. Yeah. And then so what is, or do I, there we go. Here's a good question that we often get asked. And she's going to go into the actual explanation, the difference, the distinction between a niche demographic and a niche topic. But what is best for new people coming into the industry? What's best for them and how are they going to know the difference?
Well, first of all, it's before we get into like what's best for you, really, it first starts with asking yourself, you know, whether or not you want to stick to a topic or whether or not you want to go with a more broader demographic. Okay. Now the difference between the two is that, let me give you like an example to maybe help you out a little bit. There's this woman named Gala Darling, and she started a fashion blog. Right? When she first started. This lady's
real. You can look her up. That's not.
Yeah, and that's her actual name too.
She's making her up. No, she's real.
That's her actual name too. She actually has a very great blog. What she decided to do was start off with a niche topic, which was fashion. She just chose fashion. So anytime that she posted on her blog, it was about fashion trends, fashion tips, fashion do's and don'ts. And she would even sometimes throw in like her own personal like outfits that she chose for herself and why and how it made her feel, like all that stuff. She chose a niche topic. Okay. Now, eventually what ended up happening was organically her blog and her readers began to basically demand that she expand, right? So instead of simply blogging about fashion, a topic, she ended up organically growing into a niche demographic. And I want to quote this because I like the way that they said it. Her blog transformed and is now referenced as a blog for youthful, alternative, unconventional, individual, eccentric women. So now, instead of simply blogging about a topic of fashion, which kind of constricts her in her eyes, right, to just a few topics within the fashion industry, now she's able to broaden her scope to a demographic of these wild, crazy, alternative, eccentric women who are looking for maybe tips on spirituality. Maybe they're looking for tips on like, fashion trends for hippies. You know what I mean? Like it's much more expansive. So for you, it would be, do I want to pick a topic, or do I want to pick a demographic? Now, as far as a demographic goes, I will let you know that does tend to be a bit more work, especially if you're new, because there's so many topics within your demographic you could blog about, that in order to do that consistently and provide enough information on each topic that you could touch base on, it will require a lot of work and energy, especially more so in the beginning. So it's more of just if you're really passionate about blogging about youthful, eccentric, alternative, yada, 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 then go ahead and do that if you're willing to put in the work. But if you're new and you want to kind of condense that work for yourself a little bit, you might want to start with a niche topic like fashion, for example, or maybe social media. Maybe that's your thing. And you could talk about all the various social media sites. But that's something that you really need to distinguish with yourself is, am I willing to go broad, or am I willing to go a little bit more specific? And then you really just honestly have to just be honest with the work that you're willing to put into it from that point. Now, it is possible for blogs to grow organically, like galas, from a niche topic to a niche demographic, but that's not a shift every blog is capable of making. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, not everybody's going to have the kind of power up front to be able to just read into their audience the way that she did and say, okay, well, this is what they're demanding of me now. A lot of people, it's going to take some years even to get this kind of stuff out there if you don't have the training or the consistency behind it. Now, I assume that, she's been blogging for quite a while.
Yeah, she's been blogging for a few years now.
So, I mean, like all these things come they come to her just like they're going to come to you. She didn't know what she didn't know in the beginning of her blogging, but she did know that she wanted to talk about fashion. So that's where we get our team and people who are new to blogging to start, is to ask themselves that same thing. Okay, well, you can go as specific as you want, which is going to get you there faster. Or you could kind of scope out, kind of chunk up a little bit, and to where you're going to be looking at a broader scope, right? And touching on more individuals within that niche, I guess you could say, because you could say that those niche topics are definitely more broad.
Yeah, a niche topic would be
demographics.
A niche topic, to maybe be a more applicable example, would be if you wanted to choose a niche topic of video games, right? Versus a niche demographic of teenage boys. Now, video games would obviously fall into that demographic because we know teenage boys are super obsessed with video games. But there's also other things in that demographic that interest them. So again, specificity or a bit more broad range.
Yeah, because you could actually talk to, Call of Duty people who play in Alaska, right? And that is a specific demographic. And that's what we're trying to get at, just to maybe go a little bit further with that. Yeah. But how do I pick my niche then? This is the big one.
Yes.
How do I pick my niche? Because now if you've made it to this point, you're wondering, okay, well, I know why it's important. I know what I've got to choose now between the demographic and the topic, but how do I go about, what list of questions do I have to ask myself, or what do I need to know about my business that's going to make this decision easy?
Well, there's 4 things. The first is to obviously brainstorm your audience. Now, there's 3 different ways that you could do this. You could start by either choosing an audience, right? That maybe represents you. That's what was recommended to us in the beginning. Yes. And even then we were still like,
Who are we?
Yeah, and then we went all existential on ourselves. It was crazy. But start by maybe choosing an audience that represents you. Say, for example, stay-at-home mothers, or, you know, between the ages of 25 and 30. Maybe it's
poker playing Cowboys fans. Maybe it's you know, I don't know.
That's him. Or maybe it would be like single male college students between 18 and 21. Right. That would be like an audience that would most likely represent you. Another option would be maybe try choosing an audience that you gravitate towards, an audience that you would like to be a part of, right?
Or something that you would like to learn.
Yeah, what are some things that you really like doing? What are some things that you really enjoy being a part of? Would it be like professional poker players for Brandon? Dallas Cowboys fans for him? I don't know why.
Because they're the best. They're the best. But
I don't even follow football. You know, for me, maybe like stay-at-home moms, because that's the community I'm involved with right now. Maybe for you,
but it's also what you want to learn too. So it's like with me personally, I'm not a big, I don't know how to play golf that well, mind you. Okay, I'm shooting like 120. If anybody knows about that, it's terrible. But I do love the game, and so.
But that is an audience he gravitates towards.
Exactly. So when I end up getting my other things all lined up to where they're just kind of running on their own, I could then send my focus into golf, which will not only get me to, you know, attract myself with other golfers and help them with their game who are worse off than me, if you can imagine that there are people out there like that, but it's going to get me to learn more about the game, which is going to increase my game, which will increase my passion, which will get me to be out there playing more, which will get me in turn to make more, because we teach people to get paid off of their passions. So if you're doing more stuff that you love, all we're saying is that you're going to end up earning more money.
Go write about it.
You see what I mean? Yeah.
Another one that's actually really popular is like an audience that a lot of people are gravitating is people who are into like homeopathic, all natural remedies instead of traditional pharmaceutical solutions for their kids, their family, or themselves, or whatever. Like that's an audience that I gravitate towards too. Since we've been together, and especially since I've had a child, I've slowly begun to see like a lot of benefits in homeopathic remedies. Like that's something I gravitate towards.
She reads a lot more of other people's blogs.
Yeah, think about audiences that you gravitate towards. That could be an option that you could consider using as your niche. Another one would be maybe working backwards, right? Pick a topic first and then decide the audience off of that. So, for example, back to juicing, like, do you like juicing? That's a topic. Okay, well, who are people who are interested in juicing? Usually it's health junkies, right? People who are looking to lose weight. People who are looking to have a healthier diet because maybe they don't eat or, fruits or vegetables the way they should, but they'll drink them, right? That's how you could go. You could start with the topic first and then find the audience if that's easier for you. Those are 3 different ways that you can brainstorm an audience.
And so the second thing is to how to pick a niche is identifying with struggles. Okay, now this is something that we do not like to tap into, a lot of us, but it's something that's going to get you to become a better person. It's going to get you to use your past as an investment into the future so that you don't make the same mistakes again. It's going to be great for you to share these with other people so that they don't have to go through those same struggles that you went through. And all in turn, it's going to get more traffic and more leads and more, everything's going to be more on you. It's going to make you look more authentic. It's going to be a great deal of connecting with that niche of yours. Once you can lower your ego, drop it and just really look back at the things that you've had problems with and break them down in a very kind of fun, maybe dramatic kind of story that's going to get them to relate to that.
Yeah, and it's also like when it comes to identifying the struggles and challenges and just issues that your niche is having, right? Because that's why they're out there seeking solutions, would be to ask like, okay, well, what are some of the struggles that they're facing? Like, why are they even looking for information for a change? What challenges do they have that are keeping them from getting the results that they want for themselves? What are some things that they desire that they want? Like, what's their ultimate goal they have for themselves? What are some of the pain points? Like, I know most of us, like Brandon said, we don't like to talk about like our pain points, but what are some of the things that really strike a nerve with your audience that causes them, right, to seek out doing something different for themselves? And
identifying with that isn't going to make you look weaker then, okay? It's not going to make you look like, okay, well, I'm looking like I want self-pity or not, like I want like somebody to pity me or anything like that. That's not actually what's going to do. You're going to by lowering your guard, you're going to get them to feel more at ease with their own problem.
Because you're going to be seen as relatable. Because it's like, oh, if this person went through this, I'm going through this problem right now. and they just went through it and they're sharing how they just overcame it. Like, that's really cool. So
it's valuable.
Like,
no matter
if
what
he
your
can do it, I
what your
can
inner
do
self
it.
is telling you.
Exactly. And, you know, a really easy general way that you guys can go about finding information for this one, for number 2, is by going into social media groups. Like, that's huge, a huge benefit in terms of helping you find out these struggles and these pain points that your group that your niche may be having. Niche forums, right? You can Google that, super easy to find. How-to websites, as well as popular blogs, trending websites. Like, those are all really good examples of general ideas that you can pick up on how to. And the best thing, like, especially with social media groups, all you got to do is go into those groups and ask, hey, what are some issues that you're dealing with right now? And people are usually pretty, especially on social media, they're pretty open with explaining, like, verbally throwing up on you with what their issues are. Like, they'll have no problems telling you.
It's true.
You just have to go ask.
It's true.
Yeah. So the third point is choosing the profitable challenges. Now, this may sound, we always get like a little tightness when we approach this one, right? But realistically, like, not all issues, not all challenges, not all struggles, not all of them are worth it to people, right? Some challenges people face, people are more than willing to pay like everything that they have to their name to have solved for them. Right. But then there's other challenges where they like couldn't care less. Like, they would never think to pay someone to pay for it because it just isn't worth it to them. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. Like, they can get over it, you know? And so when it comes to choosing the profitable challenges, start by filtering. Right? Now that you've gone through step number 2 and you've got this like gigantic list of struggles, challenges, pain points, and things that are bothering your audience. Now filter through all that by doing a bit of keyword research. And if you don't know how to do keyword research, like, that's totally cool. We can help you with that too. But you would basically do like a little bit of keyword research on monthly searches.
I think she has a video out of that.
Like, how many people a month are going to Google and actively seeking out information on how to solve this problem? If it's not a whole lot of people, then it's not that big of a challenge. People really don't care about it that much to go have it solved. But if it's a decent sized number, you might want to put that down.
Yeah.
Another one is like, what's the number of searches around relative information that implies they can provide a solution. So if you have like one general issue in your audience and you go to do some research on it and you see like 8 different variations of that same problem, look at those numbers as well, because that's going to give you a good idea of just how popular or how active people are searching for implications of that same problem being solved by the people.
Right.
And then a competition, right? Do you even stand a chance of breaking out from all of the noise and all of the blogging competitors who are sharing similar information? Or is the field wide open for you, right? Because especially if you're new, you're going to want to focus on things that give you a wider range of freedom, that it's not super highly competitive. So this is very important when it comes to choosing a profitable niche. Looking at numbers, and he's my numbers man. So when I can give him good numbers, he's like, yes, let's do it. I don't even know what we're talking about, but let's do it. So, you know, that's something to consider. Okay. And then the fourth one is one of your favorites, understanding the core behind the interest.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to take that one?
Yeah, I just wanted to intro.
So it's not enough to know that people are looking for like, okay, so surface level. Okay, we do not want to we don't want to get to these people and their surface level problems. We want to dig deep into why they are doing what they're doing. There are certain ways that you can get through this to them, but more often than not, it's going to have to be from a very authentic point. You're not going to be able to get through to these people by, you know, telling facts and, you know.
Well, yeah, it's like
going through what. Well,
I was just going to say it's very much like I'm sorry, that just like totally broke my state.
She lost you.
Like, as far as like surface level goes, like, it's not enough to just talk about, okay, here's the product that I have that can solve this challenge.
Right.
It's more about like knowing why, you know. So if like, for example, if your niche that you're going after for is homeopathic remedies, right? People who are into
homeostasis. I don't know, but yeah, homeopathicism.
That topic. If that's who you're niching after, then it's important to know like that these people who are also interested in this niche, that they're looking for like the whats about certain products that you're advertising. So like, it's not enough that, okay, well, here, homeopathic remedies are awesome. Here's like a few that I have tried that work really well. You have to know, like, these people want to know what ingredients are in these products that you're recommending. What are the side effects? Why are they beneficial? What can these things do for us that traditional pharmaceutical medicines cannot do? And you know, they want to dig deep, and you've got to be willing to provide that for them.
Yeah, and to even take it one step further is to be able to talk their own language and being able to dig into them. So if you have somebody who is not with, let me just dig. Okay, there's people out there that are going to be listening to you, that they're going to be turned on by the message, but turned off by the delivery. Okay. And so if you can get in a way to where you can kind of tell different stories and present that to different crowds of people within your niche, that's going to make your conversions skyrocket. Because just imagine this, if I'm a guy, right, that like I am, and I'm all about, like, you know, bringing people to the new place or helping them create the change, or, demolishing the workforce and squashing the boss man and things like that, right? Well, I'm just trying to use like very powerful terms that are going to get you to illustrate that I'm about, like, you know, power and things like this, right? And then I'm talking my message to somebody who's about like community driven and love. Yeah. And things like that, and they get turned off. They're like, hold on, I don't want to smash anybody. I just want to live my life in peace.
I'm not trying to demolish anything,
right? And you're saying, well, that's my same message is the same, but the delivery behind it has now turned off some of that audience. Mm-hmm. And so when you try and speak to everybody within your niche on that surface level kind of, I'm just going to talk to everybody at once, you're turning off a lot of people. You're going to need to decipher before you put that content up, or before you decide to do whatever it is that you're doing for your sales promotion. Who is it exactly within your niche that you are talking to? That is going to be big for you to see the results that you want to see, because we've noticed that with us personally, we decided to talk to entrepreneurs. What did that do? Nothing. You see what I'm saying with this? So we've got to get specific, and you've got to get to that core desire, why entrepreneurs are even in business for themselves. Mm-hmm. Now we have something to work on.
Starting point now. So, yeah. When it comes to your niche, like, for example, if you choose to go after like vegetarians, right? Like that's the niche you go for. If you ever notice, like if you go into vegetarian blogs or you go to vegetarian restaurants, things like that, like the language that people reference who are interested in being a vegetarian, the way they talk, the way they just even reference food in general, the way it makes them feel with their bodies, like all of that is very different than if you were to come to us who are like hardcore steak eaters. You know what I mean? Like if we were to have a conversation with vegetarians, I mean, like I'd like to say we're decent enough to where we can like relate, still have a relatable conversation with a vegetarian, because it's not like if we know they're a vegetarian, we're gonna be like, oh yes, let's talk about red meat. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're not going to do that. We can still find a way to relate to them. But as far as our language with them,
it would have to be changed. It would have to be shifted.
As is to us, a vegetarian's language is kind of like, you're cranky because you're not eating anything. Like you're eating grass. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? And so when you can pick your niche and maybe go into a few blogs or websites or social media groups that are about that same niche and start to get like a general concept, a general idea of how people are speaking about that topic, then you can come off as more relatable. You can come off as much more approachable than if you try to just go at it with the language you think they talk in.
Yeah, you know I think they do. And so the blog, I feel like she goes on, let us know if we go too much. I swear. Sometimes
we both ramble, so he can't even blame it all on me.
But no, so this is the big one right here, because now that we've got this information, how do we bridge this to people who are not aware of any opportunity that you're a part of? Because a lot of people, they wonder, well, I don't have a business, I don't have a product, I don't have anything that I need to sell. So how am I going to get somebody that is interested in, say, because we're going to share an example with you, say who's interested in CrossFit, to buy my products or to join my team? Like, how is that ever going to relate? And that is why our blog is so powerful, because it's that bridge. It's that bridging mechanism that allows you to actually connect this person over here with this person. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And so do you need a screen share right now?
Yeah, I'm going to do a real quick screen share
stay
with you guys.
This, and we're going to show you exactly how awesome this could be, because this is just one example to use, you know, somebody else's victory. She's been awesome. We met this woman in Colorado.
Yeah. You guys should be seeing our screen right now. Okay, so our good friend Amy Allen, there's her picture, it's pretty. Originally, she was blogging about her business, and it just so happens to be the same one that we're involved with. And she was doing very well with it. And then recently, she just decided that because she's been getting into CrossFit and she's been seeing the benefits of it, that she really wants to start blogging about this new niche that she's getting involved with personally herself. So she started a blog about CrossFit and the lifestyle that comes with it, just like all the things related to that type of lifestyle. So one of the cool things that you can do with blogging, and as far as like talking about a passion and bridging that with your business, she does very well, right? So this is just like one of the pages on her blog. This particular post is a really good example because, you know, she says, who am I and why do I blog about CrossFit? She shares like why she chose to blog, why she also chose to do CrossFit. And then she decided to share some information. And at the bottom, right, she starts talking about how all of what she's learned in CrossFit and blogging can help anyone in any niche, in any business. And she slowly starts to build the bridge between CrossFitters, right, as well as her business, right? So now she's connecting people from one dot to the next. And she has a really good like breakdown right here where she starts talking about, hey, I've got some videos on my marketing blog that maybe you would be interested in. She gives like some registration options. And then she also gives a bridge right here for people who are interested in learning more about how they can blog about CrossFit and make money from it too. Right? And then another really good example, if you look right here, this is also an example of bridging inconspicuously, right? Because instead of her saying, right, join my business, you can make money, which would turn off a lot of her CrossFit audience because they're not there for that. She instead focuses on getting their attention by letting them know that they can start doing what they love. And if they click this banner right here, they can learn how they can start blogging about what they're passionate about, write about what they love doing, and make money from it as well. And then another great example of her blog is, well, one, here's a nice little pop-up. But she talks about, again, at the very bottom, she spends this whole time talking about the psychology of CrossFit, how it displays like basic human traits really well. It does like a really well explanation of how humans operate on a general level. But at the bottom, again, she does a really nice bridge right here about, hey, would you like to learn how to make money blogging? Like, you've been spending time on my blog. You obviously enjoy what I talk about. Would you like to learn how to make money talking about what you like to talk about? I can show you how to do it, right? Those are both really good examples. Where are we at? Those are both really good examples of how you can bridge, right? So if you're here and you're like, okay, well, I've really made the commitment. I really want to focus on blogging about something I'm passionate about, but I still want to make money from my business. So how do I connect the dots? Well, we just showed you how easy it is. There's always a way that in something you're posting, you can slowly start to like connect the dots from the topic you're talking about to how you can relate that to helping someone else do the exact same thing. So, I mean, it's not like you're going to just come straight out and say, hey, you've been reading my post, come join my business. It's
Which
awesome.
is what people do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And not just with bloggers, but I'm saying just like you'll visit their site and they'll go, you've seen my stuff? Buy from me now. And
yes, you see like those crazy pop-ups every which way on their blog. Like everywhere you look, it's buy from me, buy my products, buy my products. And it turns you off. Like, you don't even want to go read the information anymore because all you feel is like kind of sleazy. Like, dude, you didn't even buy me a drink first. Like, back up off me, you know? And so if you decide to start blogging about your passion, but you still want to know how to make money from that, like, there's so many ways that you can bridge that gap. So we don't want you guys to feel like you have to blog about your business opportunity or you have to blog about the products you sell. You can blog about how you love to bake paleo cookies, right? And still make money for the business that you're involved with by learning how to bridge. Your blog will help you do that, and we will help you learn how to do that as well.
So what have they learned so far today then?
Well, if you're paying attention, then you should have learned, yes, you should have learned like what a niche even is, right? The importance of picking your niche for your blog. You should have learned how to pick a niche topic or a niche demographic, deciding which one is best for you. And then you also should have learned how to go about getting started on defining your niche, how to pick your audience, right? Now, if you didn't, that's totally cool. I realize we did ramble. We went a little fast. Feel free to, rewind this hangout and watch it as many times as you need to, so it sinks in, because this is so important for your blogging success. This is an absolute must. You cannot skip going through this exercise and picking out your audience. Okay. Now, if you learn that, and we wrapped it all up with showing you exactly how you can bridge your passion blog with your business simply by helping connect the dots in a less abrasive way.
And that is the reason why so many people are making so much money online using blogs. Yes. It really is, because they become master bridgers. They become master builders, master pointers. They've been able to take the information from stuff that they love, stuff that they've already done, stuff that they're doing every day for free, sharing it with the right group of people. And now they're getting paid for basically doing things that they were just doing for free. Now that is amazing to me. And I just get excited about that. I think that today went really well, and we hope that you guys found a lot of value from today. Do you want to close it up?
Yeah. So now that you guys got to go through our workshop, day number 2, right? Then right about now, you guys should be seeing an opportunity where if you, for some reason, have yet to make the decision to start blogging, you can go ahead and do that now by accessing the link. It should be over to the side of your screen. If you're on Google+, if you're on Facebook, it'll be below.
That's right.
But what you can do is you can easily access your blog, right? You can even start a trial period for 7 days.
That's right.
Right? You can see how easy it is to set up. You don't have to, stress over any tech complications, because that's all taken care of for you. And the best part is, when you make that decision to start blogging for yourself, you'll find that Brandon and I will be on the inside waiting to welcome you and to help get you started, help get your blog set up, help get you started in the right direction, right? And the best part is, we're even offering a 15 to 30 minute 90-day game plan coaching call. Now, we normally charge about $197 for this.
Get you going fast.
But if you guys really want to take advantage of getting a game plan, a 90-day game plan for your blog set up to where you have direction, you know who you're going to talk to, you know what you're going to talk about, you know the steps you need to take to start growing your blog, then you're going to want to take advantage of this opportunity. Okay. Now, we're only offering this coaching call to the first 5 action takers right now. And we'll know exactly who you are because we get notified as soon as you make the decision to sign up. So you're going to get the blog. You're going to get support from Brandon and I. And if you're one of the first 5, you're going to be one of the lucky who get a 90-day, 15 to 30 minute coaching call for free.
That's right. And so anybody right now who's watching this, who's just thinking, you know what, you guys are doing really great, but I'm not really feeling that right now. I'm going to come back tomorrow and just gather up this more free nuggets. Well, there's going to be a little bit of a problem or issue with that. Because our whole thing tomorrow is based on setting up your very first blog with you right here for free through the screen share, doing everything that you can do. Okay. So showing you the steps, right?
Yeah,
we're showing you our screen. So we're going to be showing you exactly what it takes to get set up on your own blog, so that you can take what we're showing you, follow the steps step by step, customizing to your niche, and getting you going, so that by the end of the hangout tomorrow, you'll be good to go. But you cannot attend that. It will be impossible for you to attend. There'll be no reason for you to, unless you take action today and you end up getting your butt on the Kalatu platform. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way around it right now. And that's the reason why we did this, to see who's serious about going to be, getting their business at that next level. So we're going to get notification right now. I'm excited because it's going to happen immediately. We're going to get in touch with you guys who decided to take action right after this and go over this 90-day game plan. And so we love you guys for visiting today. And I think that,
blogging 103.
103. See you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Take care. Oh, it's not.